Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Katarina, and I'm training manager here at UX Academy. We would like to thank all of you for joining us today on this presentation to learn what UX design is all about. So now, please drop a message here in chat to let us know where you are watching us from, which city, which country we would like to know. So please let us know. It's great always to see people joining us from all over the world. So please type in the chat box. We are so excited to hear from you. And now I will present our agenda. So, oh, hi, Emily. Emily is from France. Thank you for joining us. So this is our agenda for today. And now, before we go to the main part of the presentation, we would like to tell you a little bit about UX Academy, the company who is bringing you today's expert session. We are a London-based company and we run online live evening UX design courses. So as you can see here, our courses are live. They are on Zoom. We started as running courses at Central London for a number of years, but then like everyone else, we had to switch to from classroom to Zoom, and we are delivering courses with live teachers in a small groups. So as you can see here, we have about 10 students and one teacher. Oh, here are more people. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining today. Hello. And we have been around for over 4 years, and we have taught over 1,000 students. Here you can see that we taught students from all over the world, from many companies. And now I will just tell you a little bit about the tools we use. So first, if you join our course, you would use Slack. You would be placed in 3 different Slack groups, one with the entire course and course instructors. Then the other one would be just with your team, because you would be working on a project. And then the third would be with the client, because you would be working on a client project, so you can communicate with a client if you have any questions that you can ask them. So that's what we use Slack for. Next is Google Drive. So after each course, I upload course recording and course slides to Google Drive. So after each course, you can rewatch certain parts if you want to hear something again. Or if you missed the course, you can watch the recording. It's always very helpful, and look over the slides. Also, we use Figma and FigJam, which are industry standard tools for prototyping. And our courses, as I already mentioned in previous slide, are held on Zoom and delivered on Zoom. And now I will tell you about mentorship. Mentorship is a very neat point about UX Academy. So if you join our course, you would have 30 minutes of team mentoring each week. And that's a great time to ask any questions. You can ask for career advice, because our mentor has been in the industry for a number of years. and he can help you with everything, with the theory, but also with the practical part, also with the client project. He's there to support you and help you reach your goal and learn as much as you can. Also, here is our industry guide. So when you complete our course, you receive how to break into UX industry guide. And also demand for UX designers is increasing, and Glassdoor added UX design to their list of best 50 jobs to have in 2021. And now we will discuss our payment plans. At UX Academy, we offer 3 flexible payment plans to make our courses even more affordable and accessible. That's Noma, Splitit, and Klarna. So if you would like to learn more, please go to our website, click About Us, and then click Payment Plans. These are our wonderful trainers that will teach the course. And now I will introduce you to Natalia, who is expert in UX design, and she will take over this expert session. Welcome, Natalia.
Oh, thank you very much for having me today. My name is Natalia Veritenik. I am lead product designer, and I have around 15 years of experience. And today in this live session, I would like to share my experience, and I try to answer the question, what is user experience? And actually what we are doing as a UX designers day to day. So I would like to start with the definition, what is user experience design? So user experience design is how a person feels about interacting with the product. And that term, user experience, was coined in the 19th by cognitive psychologist Don Norman. So in UX field, we say Don Norman is our father, because he created the industry around user experience. He's the first person who started to talk about the user experience, how it's important, and why we need more user experience in the world. And in 2018, I was in the conference Krupa in Kiev, where Don Norman talked about the design for 21st century. And in his point of view, UX, it drive the users, drive the business. And user experience designers should be in the top level management companies, because we as UX designers can provide the right insights to the business, what business has to do for their customers. And that inspired me and actually gave me more power to think how I can translate and how can I make more for my company, my clients, and for the user, of course. So as a UX designer, I work with a lot of different assets, and I work with a lot of different industries. And here I would like to show to you a couple examples, actually, what we are doing. So as a UX designers, we are working with the devices, right? It can be physical or digital devices. And in this picture, you have a car and application for that car, right? So user experience can be from different point of view, how you are feeling the car and actually how you feel the application for that car. So if we speak about the digital product design, and I'm focusing on the digital product design, I would in this case design the interface for the application. So that application help you know everything about your car. Probably you will receive the notification when you need to go and have a checkup. So everything what you need to know and get the notification and information. So my role as a UX would be here to think about how to make that information helpful, useful, and what kind of information should be there. And another example in UX design can be virtual reality, right? So it's not always on your cell phone or in your devices. We are going further, right? Technology every day involved, and virtual reality, we can meet more and more in daily life. You know about the metaverse and how much they are doing around the virtual reality world, and it's small steps, but they are improving step by step. And that, again, we need the user experience, right? How people feel the space around, right? How we can make this experience safe for people, and actually how we can improve and what they make can how can make it and what they can make with a virtual reality. That's another kind of the experience, and that's why I love, for example, love my career, because when I started my career 15 years ago, we didn't have idea of virtual reality. Now almost everyone can go and buy the helmet and have a virtual reality in their home and enjoy and play and even work. Depends how far in progress your school, your university, or your work. So day by day, I have to learn and I have to be aware what's going with the technology, what's happening in the market, what new technology and what experience should be there. Try new technology to understand as a user how can it feel. So all that sounds very engaged for me and interesting. So that's why I love my career. And also I would like to show to you another idea. It's augmented reality. So augmented reality, it's also about user experience, because I moved to London 4 years ago. London, it's a huge city and so quick and so fast and so many tourists around that probably not everyone can answer your question because they don't have time or they don't know where your location, what you are looking for. And I try to survive with the map. But when Google launched augmented reality, that was game changing. So before I consider like augmented reality just for games, take a pictures or play Pokemon Go or something like that, but I was surprised that how we can use augmented reality or something really help. And until today, it's probably like 2 years or 2 years and a half, I use almost every day augmented reality map because it's helped me guide if I'm going to one or another part of London, what I don't know, because it's a so huge city. And you can use that when you are traveling for business, for tourism, right? When you are visiting new places in your city, that's helped you a lot. So you just take your cell phone, you're scanning the area around you, and it shows to you with 3D arrows where you have to go. And the accuracy of that is impressive, and that's helped me a lot, and I'm sure a lot of users use that. So that's another new technology, and how was this technology was implemented. And that's also about user experience, because user experience is also about the research. So someone did a research, explore how be better maps, how we can help our users, what technology now around us, and how we can match this new technology with already existing application or existing, like if context is map, how all that can match and how we can improve our life and life of our users and customers as a business. Another nice example, what I would like to show, it's actually how we can combine something what already exists for millions days and something what just launched, right? So everyone knows bicycle, right? And now we have a Peloton, right? It's a new generation of the bicycles that let you do exercise in an absolutely new way, new experience. And that was a revolutionary experience when people who are busy or for them reason they cannot go to the gym, they can work out at home, have everything what they need, and make live sessions and feel that they are in the middle of the session. So like exactly like with you are working, you're a trainer, instruction, because it's a live, right? And also help you to monitor everything what's going on with you, like your heart rate, right? Your speed, and show to you your statistic, your data, how you do you feel. So that's all help you to improve your experience with the bicycle and be more engaged and do more exercise. That actually a very good call, I think, for a business and for the user as someone who is trying to keep motivated and do workouts at home. Then another good example, what I would like to show to you, it's a smart home. So smart home, it's already existing, but still quite new for many people. And that can be how another way we can use technology and how we can help the people save the energy, save the heating, right? How you can control all your home and make your home smart. What happening in your when you are leaving home, when you are back to home, you can set up the alarm, right? So everything you can do through your cell phone. That is amazing, because before you need to have additional device for that, or even you couldn't do it remotely. Now you can do that, and that will help you keep safe your home and also save electricity, like lights, if you forgot to off the light. So that's couple of examples about the technology and about user experience around us, right? So how we use experience. But I would like to give you a couple more examples. I don't have a slides, but I was thinking today before our session about some experience from, for example, self-payment. When you're in the supermarket and you're in a self-payment process, you don't need any more cashier, right? So you are not talking to someone, you are just by yourself. Go, you scan your milk, you just tap couple um, screen buttons on the screen, and it's done. So as you see, technology also replaced the human job, and we going now to the world where we need more people who create technology than they providing the service, because a lot of factories automatized for a long time, but every day we have a more and more automatization. So this simple like pay your milk or bread in the supermarket, you don't need any more the people. But what actually user experience is? So when we speak about the user experience, is an interaction between artifacts and user. So user is everyone who's using the product. It's you, me, any customer, anyone on the street, in your home. So everyone who interact with any kind of the devices that I just showed, or any kind of application, websites, if you are paying your bills, if you are opening the Visa, if you are uploading your application for university. So all that is some interaction you as a user with artifacts. Artifacts can be the website, application, augmented reality, virtual reality, right? And also even physical, right? It's like a cars or cashier machine. So all that it's your artifacts. And that interaction, what happened with you each time you are using your design artifacts, it's a user experience. How do you feel about that? How it was helpful, useful, and how you enjoy that. So that's about the user experience. So I hope now it's clear. You can ask additional questions if you want in the chat. Happy to answer. And now I would like to speak with you about how UX designers work, because our session is about UX designers and their day-to-day responsibilities. So UX designers help make technology easier to understand and more enjoyable to use. So we are creating new technology, innovative things, but also we are helping to improve what already exists. So that can be platforms for paying bills, paying taxes, any kind of the platforms that you use as a social media, right? So it can be platform like Instagram, Facebook, Google search, right? So all that is our artifacts, our day-to-day and lifesavers sometimes applications. So we have to feel how, as a user, every day more and more engaged and enjoyable to use. Because if you step back and look the application, how they look and work 10 years ago, it was not so much fun. It was not so easy. You need to learn some application interfaces, right? So everything what you see on the screen, it's an interface. And if you use tools like, for example, Gmail or Outlook or Hotmail, right? You see some interface when you are opening that on your cell phone or your laptop. It's the interface that someone designed for you, right? And you as a user has to enjoy and solve your problems. You want to send the email through the Gmail or Outlook or any other service, right? So you have a clear goal, send a mail. And we as a designers have to give you that experience easy and happy. So that's our main purpose as a UX designers. And very often people ask me, what is my responsibilities and what is my day-to-day task? So here I have a list what I do in day to day and highly probably what you are going to do if you would like to become a UX designer. So as a UX designer, I am trying to understand the user, what they are motivate, who they are, and what drive them. And of course, I have to understand what is their problem. For that, I try to empathize and understand the user and conduct the user research. So empathize the user and conduct the user research needs some skills and knowledge. So there are techniques and methods how you can make it and what research method you have to take in different situation. And for that you need some knowledge and understand. So basically you are learning some principles, and then when you see live situation you understand what you have to do at that moment, what you have to research, what you have to explore. Do you need to improve something or you have to build something from the scratch? And then I working a lot with wireframing and prototyping. So what is wireframing? As you see now on the screen on that image, someone is drawing some sketching on the screen. So on the paper and pencil, sorry, and that's a sketches, right? So when you are just drawing with paper and pencil something, you are sketching your ideas, how maybe future application will look like, or how will website look like, how many pages you need to be there, and for example, as a um, mail service, how it should look like, how Gmail should look like, how would you redesign the Gmail, and you are just thinking in with a paper and pencil. But what is next? How to make that live? So you are going to the next stage and you make things digital. So that process when you are transition from your hand draw to the digital, we call that wireframes. So when it's already digital, we call wireframes, and we can take these wireframes, put them together, and make a prototype. So prototype is something what you can click, you can scroll, you can feel like a real product. So we are doing that a lot before we are going to the development process. So before to launch application or website, we first tested if we are in right direction, if we did a good research, if we understood right the problem of our users, if we are framing in right screens and right position of elements on that screen. So we are just making the prototype that feels like a real product, but really no. And then we are testing that. So we conduct user testing. For that, you also need some knowledge to understand how to make it, what kind of question to ask, how to prepare, how to conduct, what tools to use. And then we are delivered the design, right? So based on our user testing result, we take a decision. Do we need to back and do again by framing and prototyping, or do we need to maybe ideate a little bit more, or maybe we fail during the user testing? And as soon as we are ready with user testing and we're sure that everything looks good, we're good, everyone is happy, we ask to try our prototype. We are delivering the design. So we work with the user interface designers, we are working with developers together, and of course we are following the process of the launch the project to be sure that everything works how you as a UX designer design and how you imagine how it should work. And of course, to work as UX designer, you probably would like to work in a team, right? So in IT industry, we work usually in the teams where we are building the product, and it's not just independent UX designers. Of course, no. We have a lot of roles inside of the team, and I would like to give you a quick overview the most common method what we are using. That's approach one of the most famous around the world is design thinking framework, right? So with my 15 years of experience, I have worked for a different kind of the companies, big, small, and for startups, and I work in freelance with the client directly. And I have seen that most of the teams work with design thinking framework. So design thinking framework help you solve the problem in a 5 simple steps. So it's empathize with the user, define the problem, ideate, prototype, and test. So basically it's what we are doing all the day. That process not linear, so we always going back. So we are learning more about our users. We're learning more about our problem, what we are trying to solve, and every day we are trying to make it better and better. So it's a process that help us to make our product better and our user happier and our customer happier, and of course the business happier, because if customer is happy, business is happy. More people use the product and more people also introduce the product to their friends, colleagues, and I'm sure if you like one of the product, I don't know, maybe it's Spotify, or maybe you're enjoying some tool to edit photos for your Instagram, or you're enjoying some tool to edit videos for your YouTube. I'm sure if you really like it and you really use it, you will recommend that to the other people, and you'll say, oh yeah, do you know there is a super cool tool, I use that, it's very easy to edit photo actually. And that's how drive right business. When users are happy, they recommend that to the others, right? They're showing that to their friends, colleagues, and say, just look at how it's easy to use. And if you work in some project at university, or you're working in project in your company, you probably use some tools that required by your company or by university, but there are a lot of more, and maybe you can just take a look and find something easier to use, right, or better to use, and maybe you can find something that will help you and make your job faster and smarter, right? Work smarter, not harder. So that's what we are trying to achieve when we are improving the experience with the digital and physical products. And here, the example, what I took for you. So it's a physical product, but I think most of us feel that, right? In the left side is one of the most common remote control, right? And in the right side, it's remote control that was totally different experience, right? It's a less buttons. It's a very clear purpose of the buttons. And I think most of us don't know very well all the buttons, or have never tried all the buttons on remote control what you have at your home. So we have to think how we can make it easier. And even if it's already years and years and years of the life of this product, and that product always had this button, maybe we have to take this product and just rethink and redesign that and make it easier for people. And that will be new way for that product. It will be new totally, it will be new generation of that product. That's what we are doing. So sometimes we have that as a request, and your client can ask you, please bring me new idea. Or maybe you can just think about what actually you need for more comfortable life around you. Do you need some device in your kitchen or your bedroom or bathroom? Or maybe you need a new remote control where had less buttons that easier to use and navigate. So all that questions we ask ourselves because we are curious about experience and curious how people use. And for that, we are learning behaviors, human behaviors. So human behaviors, it's our background. It's a knowledge what we have to gain as a user experience designer. Understand how people think and how they engage with the physical and, of course, digital products. And I would like to talk with you about the common skills for UX designers. So UX design sounds engaged, right? So it's a fun, cool, but of course we have to think about the skills, what you have to get as a designer, and what do you need to apply for a design job. And I would split that in a two group, soft skills and hard skills. So in my role, I need contract people, run the interviews, and understand how do they fit to the team, how they fit to the company, and how they can work with the rest of the team. It's a soft skills, so it's a workplace skills. It's how you can empathize with your teammates, how you can work in the team, how you will fit to the culture of the company. But of course, soft skills help you if you are UX designer, because UX designer collaborate a lot with the user. We have to build a user empathy, and for that you need some kind of the soft skills. But that's okay if you don't have yet some soft skills. You can learn, you can train, and you can get more soft skills. And just you need to know in what direction you have to go. So another soft skill, it's a storytelling. Storytelling help us present our job and explain what we are doing and where we are, what stage, and why we take one decision and another decision, right? So good story always help people to understand what you want to tell and what idea is behind. But of course, we need a hard skills. So hard skills, it's a technical skills, right? It's a search method, what I mentioned today. It's interaction and behavior design. It's how people think, why people prefer some colors or textures or form for different kind of situations. And of course, wireframing prototyping, because wireframing and prototyping is your main day-to-day job. So you are sketching, wireframing, prototyping almost all your work time. So that's a hard skill what you need, and you can master them, you can improve them, you can learn more and more technique about the research, about interaction, and of course to make a best ever prototype, right? So you always have something to learn more, and you are never limited with your knowledge in UX and UX skills. And when I mentioned about wireframing and prototyping, I would like to highlight for you one of the tools, because very often people ask me, okay, I would like to be a UX designer, where to start? And one of the tools to try make your sketches or wireframes, right, go from the sketch with your hand draw to the digital, it's a good tool that works for iOS, for Macintosh and for Windows. So for both platforms, it works in the browser, or you can install on your laptop. It's a Figma. Figma help everyone start. You can get a free account, so everyone can try, design, publish that, and share that. So if you want to try yourself as a UX designer, you can try today Figma. Just go type figma.com. You don't need even install anything. You can do it just in browser and start to design, just play around, because the interface of Figma, very nice, very easy to use. And that's what I told to you about the experience Engage, how people actually use the tools and what they need. When I started my career 15 years ago, we have just one tool, and that was Photoshop. But purpose of Photoshop was actually for editing pictures. But we tried to design websites. And we did it, but it was quite complicated because you have a lot of tools, you have a navigation, you have a lot of panels, and actually you need to learn. I had a book to learn about it, and I haven't used most of these features. And with the time happened revolution and pop up new product on the market. It was a Sketch. Sketch was revolutionary because it was just for UI. Now we have more user interface. It was a product that can use user experience designers and user interface designers. It's a very simple and very intuitive layout. So they remove everything what you don't need and just leave the most important tools. That's how we improving things. So we are reviewing, we look what's happening, we are studying who use what element of interface. Do we need all these components or not, all these tabs, all these windows? And after we are doing the simpler, we are doing consistent, we are doing the clean interface and use that. So Figma, it's one of the tools I recommend because it will work with all kind of laptops, and that will work in a browser or installed, so you don't need any special requirements as other tools, for example, require. So if you want to try, just jump and design your first wireframe. And roles, right? Because I already highlighted user experience design, but that's also what I love about my job. Because when you're working in design industry, you can actually feel maybe something doesn't feel you well. But your background, your knowledge and user experience help you actually expand the roles and opportunities where you can work. And that's interesting one. The diagram where actually show more titles and job roles where you can try to apply and try yourself. So UX design, it's a very important, very fundamental knowledge that need user researchers, interaction designer, user interface designer, product designers, or generalist. So even if you will not feel that you are UX design after you finish your course, right? If you study it, if you try yourself, maybe you apply to the job, you work, and you feel actually you want a little bit different or go in another direction. Maybe you are more interested on user interface design and you want to work more with colors, fonts, images, maybe illustrations, maybe that kind of fun things make you fun. So you can try yourself and you will switch. But the background, your knowledge about user experience will help you in all your journey because you will understand how people behave, why people think, in what way they're thinking, how it's better to make research and how after to test. So in any field of design, UX design knowledge, it's very fundamental and important for everyone. And I would like to highlight actually where you can find this job, right? What kind type of the job you can find and where you can find that. So based on my experience, I would say we can split in three groups. It can be small businesses and startups, big companies, and freelance. So if you considering startups and small businesses, you will work close to the probably owner of the business in a small group of people. You will learn a lot. You will learn about the market. You will do research by yourself. You will probably do wireframing, prototyping, but also you will work maybe in UI and some marketing stuff. So it can be a lot of responsibilities because in the small companies and startups, people are mixing, matching the design roles. But if you speak about the big companies, right, the role is very defined, and there you will work on specific project in a specific team, and you will work in a specific skill set. So you are applying as a UX design, you will work as a UX designer, and you will have a team. Probably will be more than one, highly probably in big companies. It will be team of UX designers, team of UI designers, and you will all work in collaboration and together. That's a very interesting experience, same like working small when you are responsible for many things. And of course, freelance. If you see yourself like a self-employed, you want to work remotely, you want to run your business, you want to make things by yourself, freelance is for you. And for UX industry, that's a very common. So you can find the job remotely, doesn't matter of your location. It can be temporary, couple months, couple weeks, and you just find, contact, have a video calls, right, and complete your job. That's help a lot with all technology what we have today. So that's all what I would like to tell you today about the user experience. I would like to tell you more because it's my career, it's my favorite topic. I can speak about user experience, but we're conscious of time. And the last topic, what I would like to highlight here is how much UX designer makes. That's one of the most common question. What happening? It's people want to understand, right? So what I will get, what will be my future? And here I would recommend you Glassdoor. So Glassdoor is a platform where you can select your uh, country, you can select the role and the level, right? So if you are looking in user experience design salaries in United Kingdom. So last time updated 1st of August 2022, you can see the average, right? So here we speak about the beginner level, right? And here is no limits. So you can go to the next level from entry level to the medium, and then you can be the lead, and then you can be manager. So there is a lot of opportunities. So if you are interested to see also the future, you can just type like user experience designer, user experience lead, user experience manager. So, and you can play and see what is the average salary. So I hope I answer that question. So if you have still questions about the salaries, let me know. And if you have any question about user experience, I also happy to answer quickly. And I would like to also highlight your journey with UX Academy. So that session provided by UX Academy, and I am trainer and UX Academy UX course for beginners. So I would like very quickly give you overview because I would like to have a time to answer your questions. So that's an overview 1 week. So course is 8 weeks and every week include classes, mentorship and fun work. So classes is theory, examples and teamwork. Mentorship is your work with a mentor. So mentor give advices, support you, coach you, and help you to understand in what direction you have to go with your project. So mentor guide you because in UX Academy you work with the real client project. So that's one of the huge benefits of UX Academy. It's not a fake project, it's a real project, so you will have an opportunity to speak with the real client with the existing product, and they will discuss with you like a designer. So you will have a responsibility like designer like me, how to interview the a client, what you have to ask, what kind of question, what you have to deliver, what timeline, and how to manage actually clients. So all that you need to know, and mentorship help you. So mentor will help you with that. And of course, fun work. Fun work, it's your home task, right? So it's what you have to complete. It's your project. So during 8 weeks, you are going to work on the real project. And by the end of 8 projects, you will have a case study that you can consider as your portfolio. So that will be first project in your portfolio if you are a beginner, or it will be one more if you already have some knowledge or you already try yourself as a UX designer. So here is our schedule, and here is our week by week topics what we are discussing. So usually we have a two trainers, so you will have opportunity to work with Stratis, he's another trainer, and with myself. So we are going to guide you and help you to learn more about user experience and open for your question. So if you remember in the beginning of our session, I told you about design thinking approach as a main approach for IT product building, right? So when we are working on the digital product, one of the most common approach. So our course built on that approach. So you will have 1 week for each stage. So you will have enough of time to understand how to make research, what is the discovery, how to ideate, what kind of the activities you have to take with your team to ideate and create a good ideas for your product. Then you will wireframe, you will learn how to wireframe, what tool to use, how to make it smarter, faster. Then you will learn about prototyping, and we are learning with the Figma, as I mentioned, one of the most common tool now for designers around the world, and then test. So all that help you to understand. And we will have also something very interesting, because after test, actually what happened, right? Because the design thinking looks test and that's all. But you have to analyze your test. So during week 7, we are analyzing and we try to understand what went good, bad, and how to iterate our design to really get went well and launch something good. And of course, we are going to help you to understand what is the future, right? So what is UX life look like? What do you need to prepare for your future? We can help with the CV, right? With your self-presentation and of course, project presentation, because by the end of week 8, you will have your case study and you will present to the real client. So you have to be ready, and all that you will get during these 8 weeks. So I hope that was interesting for you. I will stay with you until end of this session, so we will have a time to answer your question. Please feel free to ask in the chat, and see you in a bit.
Thank you, Natalia. I enjoyed your presentation, and I believe everyone else did. And now it's time for student presentation. So, as Natalia already explained, all UX Academy students have the opportunity to work on a real client project during the course. This is why we would like to show you one client project, and our guest Andriana will talk about things students get involved with during the process.
Project Avessa, our students had opportunity to work with Avessa, and I will talk about what they did. So first, I would like to say, as a student of the course, we get the brief from the client, which helps us understand their needs and what needs to be changed in order to improve the user experience. For the project, the mission of the team was to increase positive feedback, increase the number of free call bookings, and increase the sales that match users' needs. As a student, I have the opportunity to suggest new ideas and improvements and how to implement the client request into the platform. So while working on the client project, we conducted 3 different research methods: client interviews, competitive analysis, and user interviews. So those methods are the key in finding what needs to be improved from the point of view of both the client and from the point of the customer. As soon as we find the problems through our research methods, such as participants were struggling to get a good idea of what the platform does, or something on the website is misleading, the team move on to fix process, which will ultimately help in fixing those issues. This is a lengthy task, and that's why students work in teams where each person has their role in the project. You will have the opportunity to be involved in discovery, research, user interviews, prototyping, and user testing. And finally, our students present their solution along with prototypes on their final product. So if you ask me which part of the client project I find the most interesting, well, the most interesting part of the project, in my opinion, is user interviews, because I was amazed at how each person approached the simplest task in totally different ways, showing me you can never take anything for granted. So overall, this is a very hands-on experience with a real-life student project, which will give you an insight of how the day of a UX designer actually goes. So this is the homepage transformed to make the user experience better. The key points here were changing the sentences, find your dream home, making the hero text legible, making pictures with happy people more prominent. The rest of the pages were improved as follows. Improving visuals to give a better idea of remote property viewing. As users try to click on the image, we made it clickable, leading them to onboarding. Having a change of people eliminates assumption that companies run by that single person. Also, changing the word personalized to something more specific, as it made the user expect that they can modify properties according to their demands. So that's all for me. I hope this was helpful, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Andriana. That was very helpful, and I hope all of you enjoyed this talk about our client project. It helped you understand how it all works. And now I'll just give you a few reasons why to choose UX Academy. So we are delivering classes live, nothing is pre-recorded. You will get a course certificate once you finish the course. Our teachers have 7 to 10 years of experience in the field. Also, during the course, you will get experience working on a real company project where you will be applying your knowledge from the UX design course to create a solution. And you heard about Andriana, how that process goes. And also, we offer 3 flexible payment plans to make our courses even more affordable and accessible. So that's Noma, Splitit, and Klarna. And so this is a free UX design portfolio. So if you go to our website, we created this template to help you boost your career. So you can present your projects and your knowledge in the field by using this template. You can find it under UX resources, free UX portfolio on our website. Please go and check. I think it's amazing, and I think it can be very useful and helpful to everyone. And finally, now it's time to open the Q&A, and I will welcome back Natalia to the panel. Please get your questions in now. I already saw we have a few questions, so I will put them on the screen and we can start answering them. So this first one I can answer. So the price of the course, which is starting on October 25th, it's beginner course, and it's £1,250. Next, this is from Emily. Thank you for a question. So what advice would you recommend from someone who has just graduated from university in getting into this field of work? Do you need a big portfolio?
That's a great question. So would be also nice to know about the university, what you learned there. So if it was about the user experience or no. But regarding the portfolio, so that's a good question, and quite often people, students ask, and also experienced user experience designer are looking the answer for that question. So you can add to your portfolio as much as you want, right? But of course, we have to understand nobody have a time to review your whole portfolio. So makes sense to have 3-5 best projects you have done, right? So if you're entry level, designer, right? Entry level in UX, and maybe you are UX UI trying to and get, it's good to have 2-3 projects and show from a different perspective. Maybe some project you were focusing more on research. Another project, maybe you have done the research and also UX, like a wireframing prototyping. Another, maybe you did the usability testing. Good if you're working in whole process and you can show your process. So 2-3 projects, it's enough. When you are going to the stage of your interview, you will have like a 1-hour interview and you will have like 20 minutes to discuss your portfolio. So you are sending your portfolio first, and if company back to you, you will have this time to show and give more explanation about what you have done there, what was the goal, what was outcome, right? And speak about your portfolio. So as you see, 20 minutes is not enough to show 10 projects. So even if you are very experienced designer, you have a lot of project, you will be asked to pick 2, maximum 3 projects to show what you have done based on the job description. Try to make the portfolio looks very well for that job description, because from company to company, job description can change a little bit. So if someone is looking specific industry, or it's B2B or B2C, so you have to be careful with the role description and tailor your portfolio for that. Hope I help.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalia, for this wonderful answer. We got another question. Natalia, besides real life project, why would you recommend UX Academy?
So I think UX Academy has good structure, right? So it's 8 weeks and it's 2 months, right, of hard work on that, but it's a very good structure week by week, the approach what we are using in UX Academy. So you will be doing step by step, and you will learn how to work in the real life. Also will at I'm on stage. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you?
Now I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. Sorry. So I think the knowledge what you will get, that after you can expand, because it's a beginner level, right? So you will get the background knowledge in theory, because user experience is very important, what you learn as a background of your knowledge, and then you can learn more and more methods, approaches, be better in user experience or research in the usability testing. But the background of the knowledge and the quality of this knowledge, what I think would be good choice of UX Academy.
Great, thank you so much. And we got another question, which I will be able to answer. So what happens if we are not able to attend classes on time? Do we miss a class? So you can join at any point. Of course, it's better if you join on time, but that's why we have course recording, which you can watch after the course to see the parts that you missed if you had to. So no worries if you can't come on time. You will be able to watch that part of the lesson. Of course, you can watch the entire lesson again because everything is recorded. Just for that students can rewatch it or watch the parts that they have missed.
Yeah, also I would like to add to this point, we also share our slides, what we use during the session, that also helpful. And of course you are working in team, so you are never alone. And if you, for some reason, couldn't attend to the class, and that's totally normal, we will have a live that you can watch the video on demand, review our slides, and also speak with your team, because you will have a channel where you can have a meeting with your team and they will help you.
Great. Thank you so much, Natalia. Let's see if we have time for one more question. If anyone has another question, please type in the chat box now. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, so while we are waiting, I would like also mention that during the course, we are learning to work in the design tools, right? So that's, I think, also interesting part, because you are not just learning about UX, also how to make a things in the design tool, and that's a lot of fun because you can test it, you can use that as a prototype, and I think that's one of the most excited because from my perspective, I like to make things with my hands, so that is something cool that you can not just learn the theory but also practice, design something, applying that design, and that's something what I think cool. And of course, collaboration.
Oh, here is a question. Thanks, Emily, for asking. So, would you recommend having experience in more than one prototyping software, or is one enough?
So that's a great question. So that so how I would say about my experience, right? So we have a couple tools very famous like a SketchUp, right? Adobe XD, Figma, and actually Adobe bought Figma a couple weeks ago, right? But the interface of them are quite similar, and if you learn one, you can jump to another. But of course, each tool has a features. But when you are learning one of the tool, you can start to work another tool, and after learn a little bit more the features of this specific tool. But to know about the different tools is good because depend from your future job, right, or your future client, maybe you will need to work on the software what they are required. So maybe some company prefer to work in Adobe XD, another in a Figma. That's totally fine. So the more tools you know, the better. But it doesn't mean that you have to be an expert. You can just open, try how does it work, understand the layout, and if you will join the company where work on Adobe XD, for example, and you are more pro in the Figma, you can just improve your knowledge and learn more about the one particular software.
Thank you. And here is one more question. Do we need to know Figma, or we are learning from the beginning?
So we are not requiring any knowledge, but it would be nice if you try Figma before. And Figma is a good tool, right, for a UX designer and UI designer. We provide some entry level, right, and then we also support in self-learning. So course itself 8 weeks, so we don't have too much time dedicated to every single aspect, but entry level of Figma you will get.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Robert. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm very glad Emily found this useful. And okay, here is the very last question. Any resources you can recommend on getting good with Figma before starting the course? I feel like not knowing it enough would prevent us from getting the best out of the course.
Yeah, so Figma is a very nice community. So around Figma, you will find community and you will find a lot of videos on YouTube. So Figma also have their channel, and Figma has their internal course. So it's a free, you will find in the figma.com some instructions how to use Figma, how to use every tool. And they have really, really good videos on YouTube produced by Figma, and a lot of designers making a video about the Figma because we are fans of Figma. So we want to make more Figma videos and explain to everyone how does it use. So if you will just Google it or try to look on YouTube, Figma for beginners. So you will find there first videos. It's, as I remember, 3 chapters of the video. It will be not more than 15 minutes that explain interface, right? And then you can start to try to design something. And here I would recommend you just try to redesign one application pixel. So you just take a screenshot of one of your favorite application like YouTube or Spotify, something what you really use every day. Take a screenshot, upload, look at the Figma and try to redesign exactly same. How is it? So while you will do that exercise, you will learn all the tools what you need, how to use layers, how to use colors, fonts. You will learn that. That will be enough to have already good fundamental knowledge.
Thank you very much. I think this was useful. And now I would like to thank everyone for joining us for this session. I hope you found it useful, you learned something new, and we hope to see you in our course or in our next live session. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye.
Have a great rest of your day.